Hey, all, Baruch HaLevi be here, and I want to share with you some ideas, just a very quick idea about a question I got from a friend and a listener of yesterday's podcast. You can jump over to my podcast at defiantspirit.org, but somebody shot me an email afterwards because they're struggling with the Enneagram. As you know, I'm teaching exclusively now the work of Viktor Frankl and merged with the Enneagram, my two loves, under the Defiant Spirit. And they said, it feels like I'm reduced to a number when they think about the Enneagram. Certainly the way they've thought about it heretofore. How often do you get to say that in a sentence? The Enneagram, for those of you who don't know, is a personality typing system. And frankly, I have a problem with typing systems. It's dangerous stuff. I mean, typing systems are they're reductionistic. They reduce us to a label, to a box. We don't need any more labels and boxes in our lives. One of the challenges right now is we are so over identifying with outward personas, outward manifestations of our identity, whether it's our sexual identity or political identity, religious identity, national identity. I mean, there are so many different ways that we have just reduced human beings to labels and activities and interests and genetics. It's maddening how much reductionism is going on, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. Dr. Frankl built an entire philosophy, an entire system around the idea that human beings should not be reduced. And he said it coming out of probably the most reductionistic experience in human history, um, the Holocaust. The Holocaust literally reduced human beings to numbers. On his arm, it said 119, 104, because that's how he was referred to by the Nazis. And that's one step away from what happened to his wife and his unborn child and his parents and his community. They were reduced to ashes. This is what happens with it happened with slavery. It happens all throughout history. If you want to annihilate a people, if you want to enslave a people, then take away their identity, take away their name, take away that and replace it with a number. Now, I'm not saying that the Enneagram is one step away from that, but as a student of Frankl, as a logotherapist, I'm very aware of the dangers of another system, typing system, to reduce you to a box, to a number. The answer, to my friend Sam, is no. You are not an Enneagram 9. I am not an Enneagram 8. You are not a number. Or if you're into Myers-Briggs, INFJ, that's what I am. Or if you're into Strength Finders, or if you're into DISC, or if you're into fill in the blank. At least I can only speak, I've only mastered, I don't know much about the other ones. I've only mastered the Enneagram system. That's why I've created my own system, because I think it's taught oftentimes wrong, poorly. And that comes down to a misunderstanding of what it is. You are not a 9. I am not an 8. I react like an 8. When I go into fear, when I am scared, I look like an 8, right? And we could talk more about what that is. You might look like a 1. Listen to yesterday's podcast on the Enneagram 1. Is not who you are. You have all of these numbers, all of these types within you. But I think of it as the crayon box. Remember the crayons back in the day when they came out originally? I remember there was 8 of them: black, white, yellow, green, blue, red, whatever, handful of them. And then over time, we got to the mega box. I mean, I was 64. I just looked online, though. I think it's like 152 or something. It's crazy how many crayons there are in a mega box. Plus, you get that sharpener. That thing is awesome, right? The smell, the feel, the big box. And that was just a half of what now the big box is. The challenge is that no matter how big a box I would get, there were always, for me, 2 colors that were worn down to the nub. Black, my favorite color, but sometimes people challenge me and say, that's not a color, that's all colors. Or blue. Blue's my other favorite. And, it's like, remember, you peel away and it gets smaller and smaller. And so I'd be using the blue. I got like 50 shades of lime green over here, untouched. But that blue and the black are almost gone, to the point where I'm just like squeaking it out. The box is done. It's worthless at that point for me, if I don't expand the colors that I have access to. That's the Enneagram. They're all in you. You don't have a number. You have 9 numbers. Is that not actually 9? There's 27 because there's 3 subtypes of each. And there's not actually 27 because there's dominant and repressed instincts. So there's 54. And there's not really 54 because you have lines. And there's not really, there's an infinite amount of, it's a big crayon box, right? It's not 9 colors of the crayon box, 64, 152. The colors go, they're infinite, right? There's a spectrum of color, at least it's bigger than I'll ever actually utilize. The same is true with the Enneagram. The same is true with you. They're all in you. The challenge is, like the crayon box, we lean on 1 or 2, and we leave all of these perfectly sharpened colors down below unaccessed, untouched. The work we are here to do is to defy your number, to stop leaning on 1 crayon, on 2 crayons, and gain access and get comfortable with all the colors that you can see on my logo of the Enneagram, of the numbers. We are here to defy our number, to choose our number, our response, and to live all of the colors of the Enneagram, all of the colors of the crayon box, all the colors of your life. So jump over to defiantspirit.org. You can learn more about the crayon box of the Enneagram, how to use it in your life, how to work with me. Almost ready to launch a new do-it-yourself version. If you're not ready to work with me, you can do it on your own, take the test, and learn how to defy your number, live your spirit, live all those beautiful colors in your crayon box. Take care.